What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Liberate Your Money, episode 35. Coming at you with some GameStop news today. There's been a lot of drama around this stock right now, and basically because it is a massive short squeeze going on, and a lot of retail are profiting off of that majorly right now. And I'm going to try to explain to you what's going on. But so basically, GameStop stock has been going berserk the past couple days. As you can see, it was trading around like $14, $15 for weeks, months, and then just recently it shot up to $350 per share in a matter of days. So it's been causing some drama around the stock exchange and the NASDAQ with hedge funds and retail investors. And so what happened was a bunch of hedge funds went short on GameStop because they were closing a bunch of stores. They weren't doing too hot, the pandemic, everything moving to digital. They closed up a bunch of their stores, and a bunch of hedge funds basically went short GameStop. They were trying to short it into the ground, and when you're shorting, I guess they can extend the amount of shares. So actually there was they lend shares out to other people, and people buy shares, and then they lend it out to other people, and then they're short selling their shares that they got, and it ends up being like over 100% of the shares were short, and which when over 100% of the shorts or of the stock are short, and there's knowledge of that, like if there's enough buyers, it can trigger a short squeeze. And basically what happens is it runs up the price, and as the price goes up, the shorters are losing money, and they have to decide whether they're going to cover those shorts, eventually buying back their stock, which actually snowballs the price and actually makes it go higher. So not only do you have retail trying to get on this action on the short squeeze, but you've got the hedge fund short sellers that are trying to get out of their positions, ultimately ramping up the price, and they call this a massive short squeeze. And that's exactly what's happening with GameStop. And it's crazy because this all started with a Reddit investor, Wallstreet bets, like Reddit subreddit, where basically you have these guys that are, retail investors, saying fuck Wall Street. We know that these guys are balls deep short on GameStop. Let's fuck them out of their shorts and just start buying up all the GameStop shares, squeeze them out of these shorts, and we'll profit while we do it. And it's kind of like a big fuck you to the system that, hedge funds think that they can short good businesses like GameStop. It's not like GameStop isn't filling a void in our society. Gaming is huge right now and arguably getting way bigger. With esports, I think esports are going to be a huge thing in the future. So the fact that they're closing brick and mortar stores doesn't really necessarily mean that they're going out of business. It just means that really, gaming is moving all digital. So it makes sense. So you've got retail investors that are like, what, screw these hedge funds. They're the ones that are always taking advantage of us retail investors, making us the bag holders with their, tons of money that they can apply to markets and manipulate the markets. Let's buy up, let's squeeze them out of their shorts. And that's exactly what they did with GameStop, and they are pissed. There is hedge funds going under. There's, they're complaining to NASDAQ, and NASDAQ is starting to say, listen to this. NASDAQ's Adina Friedman says, we'll monitor social media chatter and will halt stock if we match chatter with unusual activity in stocks. So if there is retail investors trying to take advantage of an opportunity, and it's radically moving the price, or it's squeezing out these hedge funds, they're gonna halt the stock price. That's insane. This whole thing is so bullish for crypto. I can't even, crypto is a 24/7 marketplace. It's decentralized, so that there isn't a NASDAQ or an Adina Friedman that can come along and shut it down and say, oh, this crypto is going up too high too fast. Retail investors are making too much money. We're going to halt the stock or our hedge fund buddies are getting slammed right now, so we're just going to halt the stock And you can't do that with crypto. So this is super bullish for the crypto community and the crypto space, in my opinion. And honestly, like, I'm here for it. Like, it makes me want to buy some GameStop stock, because honestly, I think this thing might even go higher. I don't think the real short squeezes come yet. I mean, maybe, but like, I don't. This isn't a blow off top yet. Like, I bet this goes higher, and it's just crazy to me because with the Fed printing all this money, people getting all this stimulus, and everybody looking for yield. Why is it bad that retail investors are going after these hedge funds that take advantage of them every turn that they can get? And then now these hedge funds are trying to use the NASDAQ and go and say, hey, you need to shut down these stocks if we're the ones getting squeezed. And it's like, oh, so you want the market to be halted, when it goes against you? How about 2008 when all this shit went down and we bailed you guys out? Hedge funds got bailed out. They got bailed out multiple times by the government. Do retail investors get bailed out whenever hedge funds dump on us? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So it's poetic justice to me, and I'm here for it. And you know, good for all these fucking GameStop owners, because this just shows like people are fed up with the system, and I think technology is our way out, and subreddits and communication and just how everything is moved, how data has gone digital, and how easily accessible it is on the internet, and how easily we can share ideas. It's changing the landscape, and we have dinosaur traditional market participants that are just trying to, they've got the game so rigged to them for so many years, for so long, that now somebody figured them out and they're starting to win money. They're on the losing end of a trade, and now all of a sudden it's bad. It's like, welcome to free markets. You fuck with us long enough, like, you're gonna get a little something back every once in a while. So yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. Love to see it. I'm here for it. I think we're going to start to see a lot of stocks do this. I think we're going to see more of this. I think there's going to be hedge funds that are these shares are over hypothecated, like Caitlin Long said here. 138% of the float was sold short. So it's basically fraud. They're selling way more shares than there are available, and they're selling all of them short. Well, it's like, you deserve to get squeezed. Like, honestly, it's a dishonest ledger system, like she said. So it's an ugly system that we have, and this is just showing how they rig it, and honestly, they're getting it thrown right back in their face, and it's beautiful to see. If you guys didn't see this Chamath interview this morning, you have to absolutely see it. It's beautiful.
All of that is just fine, that there's nothing wrong with the integrity of the system if that is occurring?
The lack of integrity in the system is the precursor that caused GameStop to be sold short 136%, and for people to try to pile on and destroy a company in front of our eyes. That, to me, feels wrong. That feels pretty un-American, if you ask me. I think GameStop is a reasonable business. I think what they do is reasonable. And so the fact that they shouldn't be allowed to exist because all of a sudden, like, we decide that they should be obliterated into the ground.
Well, they should be allowed to exist. They should be allowed to exist at whatever their stock should be valued at based on what their earnings are. And the stock was like
free market
$17, $18 not that long ago.
Who says that? Who says that? Do you want to make the same argument about Tesla? It's gone 10x in a few months. You don't know what it's worth. Let's be honest. Okay?
You don't think that Tesla's growth prospects?
Scott, I have my own model for the company. I'm allowed to underwrite however I want to own it. Everybody that bought that stock is also underwriting how they want to own it. And the point is, just because you're wrong doesn't mean you get to change the rules, especially when you were wrong, you got bailed out the last time. Yep. That's not fair.
Yeah, but doesn't mean that these investors who were short the stock were necessarily wrong. I mean, I still haven't heard you tell me what the fundamental case is for GameStop.
Yeah, as you can see, he just got owned by Chamath there. Basically, he summed up what I was just explaining. I mean, these guys they got a lot of gall to take that position and act offended and say that, well, this stock isn't valued at 350. You know, it's like, it's because you're short, buddy. But I digress. Short story, hedge funds are slashing their stock exposure at the fastest rate in more than 6 years. So, yeah, it's a wake-up call to these hedge funds that are trying to short companies into the ground. So, yeah, beautiful. I love it. Love to see it. You know, it's crazy how the markets are so gamed. I thought this tweet was interesting. When you inevitably read about Redditors getting arrested for GameStop memes, keep in mind Pelosi's husband was loading up on Tesla calls the month before Biden announced the federal government is 100% electric and buying 645 electric vehicles. 645,000 electric vehicles. Yeah, tell me that isn't some insider shit that should be talked about, discussed, brought up into the light, you know? Should be talked about everywhere. There should be a bill tomorrow making sure that this shit doesn't happen. She completely exploited it. This is insider info. She knew. It's disgusting. Stuff goes on all the time. But anyways, that's why we have crypto. That's why we have Bitcoin. We're decentralizing the world. And although the price looks shitty right now, guys, you know, this GameStop stuff is super bullish for crypto. And, you know, watching the NASDAQ try to censor stocks that are moving against their hedge funds, you know, they're trying to help their buds out. You know, it's not a fair marketplace when that type of shit happens. So the crypto markets are 24/7, decentralized. You know, there is no NASDAQ that can shut it down, which means it's a Wild West out here, you know, but at the same time, that's fair in a marketplace. You know, we don't want to have rulers picking favorites, which is ultimately what happens. So looking at the price chart here, this is Bitcoin. Last time I did the video, we were like hovering around 40K, and I said I think we're due for a sell-off. You know, in previous bull runs, Bitcoin is notorious for 30 to 40% pullbacks after parabolic runs, and it did that, you know, 5 or 6 times before it got to 20K. It would go up like 100%, and then it would crash 40%. It would go up 200%, and then it would crash 40%, and then it'd go up 200%, and just continue to make higher lows, and then, you know, continue to make higher highs at the same time. And this is our first major pullback since having this 20K break, the all-time high break. That's what this green line is, that 19,890, we'll call it 20K. We broke up and rose 100%. We went from 20K to 40K in 23 days. I counted it out. 23 days, we rose 100%. Now that is super quick. So we were due for a nice pullback, and we're seeing one. It looks really bearish right now. This yellow line is the yearly open. I was thinking if we were like ultra bullish, we would pull back down, retest this, bounce, and, you know, start reclaiming levels. You know, maybe consolidate a little more, get a nice pullback down to like 26, and then go. Now it's starting to look, you know, this is looking really droopy, you know, head and shoulders-ish, if you want to call it that. But basically, if we zoom in a little bit, we've got this high, got a lower high, lower high, lower high. And in the meantime, we've been making lower lows. Okay, low, lower low, and this looks like it wants to come back down and probably test this diagonal again down in that 27K region, which would line up with this block of orders of volume. You know, when we went up, we stalled here for a little bit and price consolidated a little bit, creating a support and resistance level. So I think we'll we'll at least stall out there. If I have a feeling if this line breaks right here, we're going to go south quickly, and it's probably going to bounce down to this 23, 24 area. I think is a great, if we end up getting down there, I'm going to be buying the house, that 23, 24K. Otherwise, I like that 27K, which would kind of line up with the bottom of this diagonal. But look, we needed to consolidate, guys. Like, price doesn't go up forever without consolidating a little bit. Consolidation is healthy because the longer price goes up without consolidating, the harder it's going to crash. And that's why, we went up 100% in 23 days. We crashed pretty hard on this first wick. I mean, we went, I think that's like 20-something percent, I want to say. 28.3%. So that's a pretty good sized dip, when on average we're used to like 30 to 40% dips in a major bull run. So we're right on the edge of like what's pretty standard for a Bitcoin dip in a bull market. But it looks really shitty right now, right? It's like what I want to see us start reclaiming levels. So I want to see us get back up into this little range here, get back above it, form a base, get up above this, and then start reclaiming these highs. I think a major level for me is like right here. It's kind of the midpoint. I think if we ultimately reclaim that 34 area, 34.5-ish area, I like it a lot, 34, yeah, I would say right around that 34 area. If we reclaim that, I think we're probably going to go up and retest the highs. But right now, price is consolidating. So we're making lower, like a lot of investors and traders are seeing this. We're making lower highs, lower lows. Price is consolidating. But what's interesting is Coinbase. Coinbase has actually had a premium. Whenever we've been dipping down, it's had a premium on price of anywhere from like $200 to $500, which means that there are some whales on Coinbase that are buying up all the Bitcoin. Whenever it's gotten down to this 20K, there has been a lot of people absorbing the sells. And that's really good. You want to see that. I mean, that tells us that there is lots of buying going on. There's still bullish buying going on. So that's great. You want to see that, it makes me think that this is just consolidation and we're not going to see like a major market-wide sell-off where we'll pull back to that 20K and then bounce and go. But yeah, what I want to see is I want to see us get back above that, what is that, 30.8. We get back above 33.1. Once we get above 33.1, I want to see us get above that 34K. And then, it'll start to look bullish. We'll start to be flirting with this diagonal line again that we're stuck down under, right? If price comes up here, we get above that, then we're going to be testing this diagonal as resistance. And if we get above that, it's off to the races. I think that would be a high probability trade or a high probability buy spot, that we're not going to see further downside. Now, I'm waiting to buy more. I bought on this dip, this dip. I'm kind of shaky now. Like I'm almost feeling like we need a deeper correction. It's starting to look like we're probably going to get one. And I think that just this 27K level is probably not going to hold up. Just because this yearly level, this yellow line, look, it was tested once right here, and right here. And if we come down again, it's going to be the fourth time it tests it. And I think it's just going to be like a levee breaks, And we'll probably blow past this 27K and come down to like this 24K. And if we do get down to this 24K, I'm expecting a pretty like fast reaction. I think if it does dip, it's going to go fast. it might overextend past it, and I think it's going to get bought up like really quickly, and will probably be above 30K in no time. That's just what I'm thinking in my head. That doesn't mean that's going to happen. That's kind of just what I'm expecting to happen and planning for. In the meantime, altcoins have been going berserk. That's where most of my focus has been right now. The DeFi market space has just been going bananas. Give you a look at some of the plays I've been looking at. I've been in AV since $84. It's at $284 now. One of my better holds. I'm going to continue to hold it because the strength has just been ridiculous, especially versus BTC. You can see it broke out of its range down here, and it's just creating new highs, seems like almost every day. So that's beautiful. Uniswap coin. I've been holding this for a while. I've got my allocation under $5. It's at $15. But yeah, you can see it broke. It's another one of those ones where it just broke out of its massive consolidation. I was kind of looking at this just to see how high it was. It was 330% rise from the bottom to the top of the range. And if I were to do another 300% from this range high, that would put Uni somewhere around like $30 a coin. So that's kind of my target, what I'm looking at. But I'm also looking at this parabola, since it's been going up really quickly, really fast, and if Bitcoin does have a massive sell-off, I'm going to be, I'm probably going to set some stops. Like, I've made a decent amount of money on this, 3x. I just don't want to give it all back, and then I'll just buy on the dip, because I have a feeling if Bitcoin dips hard, we will probably get some really nice entries on a lot of these altcoins, because generally, I mean, I shouldn't say that. These DeFi coins, I definitely won't be selling all my bag. If I do sell all of it, I might sell half, because I think DeFi is the future, especially with all of this stock market shit with the NASDAQ and people shutting down stocks, because retail's making too much money off of it. Like, it's out of line. I think it's super bullish for crypto, and decentralized finance has been the strongest players since Bitcoin has been selling off. AV, Uni, KNC, GRT, Sol, Link has been pretty stellar as well, obviously. Rune. And yeah, so like I've been getting allocation to decentralized finance, crypto, and honestly it's been paying off really well. So I've been playing that in the meantime. I think altcoins are great plays while Bitcoin chills out. Usually when Bitcoin has a nice consolidation, we see altcoins start to pop like popcorn all over the place. And since their charts were so beaten down because Bitcoin had that massive run up, if you were buying the bottom of those Bitcoin charts, the alt Bitcoin charts, you're seeing very nice returns as a lot of them have bounced. So that's been the play since Bitcoin has been correcting. But I'm getting a little long-winded here. It's been a crazy, crazy few weeks, man. We're going to keep at it. Keep on high alert. Keep looking at the charts. Stay safe. Protect your bag. Don't get chopped up. Be careful with margin, guys. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. All right. Peace.